Hello friends! Welcome to the Maya's Dream channel. Today we're going to talk about 5 tips for navigating uncertain times on your soul's journey in a way that you can be proud of. And I was inspired to make this video this week because I'm currently recording this in January of 2020. We have just had the Saturn-Pluto conjunction, and it kind of feels a little bit like some fundamental building blocks of reality are a little bit up in the air right now, and that as a collective, there is more uncertainty or instability than usual. A lot of our big foundational elements, paradigms, governments, things like that are undergoing major transition. And so that means at various levels, all of us are facing some uncertain times right now. So I want to offer you some tips, tricks, best practices that I have found for navigating uncertainty, whether you're facing just a small uncertainty or whether your whole life is uncertain at this time. I'm hoping that these tips can really help you. My first tip for you today to help you navigate uncertainty on your soul's journey is to trust. I would say out of everything, this is the most important element for really getting through your uncertain time, unscathed or less scathed. You've got to trust. Trust in the universe, like that you're going to be led to your soul's highest destination. You've got to trust in something higher. Otherwise, you're going to be very, very anxious all throughout your time of uncertainty. But the other thing that's really important to trust in is to trust in your intuition. When we go through times of uncertainty, it's usually the case that we don't know where our material life is headed, or things outside of us, things around us appear really unclear. And so it's during these times where we need to, more than ever before, we need to trust what's occurring within ourselves. And so if you're in an uncertain time, I encourage you to sort of tell yourself this mantra or affirmation like, I trust my intuition to guide me correctly, and I know that I will arrive at my soul's perfect destination. I find that this really helps me in uncertain times, and these things are very, very true. Your intuition always knows, like when our mind has no idea what's going on, our soul absolutely knows what our clearest direction is. The issue is that a lot of times the messages coming from our intuition don't make sense to our mind, and so then we reject them. But if we affirm and focus on the fact that our intuition is guiding us correctly, and that we will arrive at our soul's perfect destination, that will help us to build confidence in the face of uncertainty. And, speaking of arriving at our soul's perfect destination, right? I think a lot of times we can overly stress ourselves out thinking, oh, I'm going to make the wrong decision. I might make the wrong choice. And then am I going to destroy my life? And the truth of the matter is, yeah, okay, so there is free will in life for some things, but the most critical turning points, the big stuff that really matters for our soul's journey, is stuff that is predestined. And so you actually don't have to worry that much about ending up in the wrong place. No. Your guides, your angels, the universe is going to ensure that you end up in your perfect destination. So even if you, quote unquote, make a wrong turn or something like that, the way it kind of works is our intuition is kind of like a GPS system. And I'm sure you guys all know, if you've been in your car, oh my gosh, using a GPS and you go off the route, oh my goodness, can those GPSs ever be annoying? And they'll say, turn around, make a U-turn, make a U-turn. That's what mine says anyways. Make a U-turn as soon as possible. You have veered from the route. Turn right, then turn right, then turn right to get back on your route and stuff like that. And your intuition works just the same. Your heart works just the same, and it's going to keep leading you back to your destiny. Spirit, the universe, God, source, never ever gives up on getting you to your destiny. And, the more that we sort of let go and we say, oh gosh, I don't know what my next destination is, but I trust in my intuition to guide me there. Even if I don't know how it's happening, when it's happening, I know that I'm going to arrive at my perfect destination. This is the key starting place for you when you're in your time of uncertainty. The second tip that I have is related, and this is that when facing uncertain times on your soul's journey, it's very, very important to connect to your heart. So our heart is often the most direct source to our intuition, right? Our heart is like our soul's compass. It's like the northern point on our compass. And we can feel when something is right. When something is really, really right for us, it often causes overwhelming emotion. At least that is the case for me. I know that something is absolutely for me in my path if it brings me to tears. That's how I know. Like if I'm overcome with emotion or overcome with joy. And even if your mind says, that thing that gave you that rush of exhilaration, you can't do that. You don't have enough money. You don't know anybody that connect you to that. You're not talented enough, or this, that, or the other thing. Your mind is very, very limited. Okay. But your heart is in touch with something more. Your heart is more in touch with the truth than your mind is. Okay? And so our minds are very useful. Our minds are there to analyze, to keep us safe, to help us learn all of the rules and regulations and stuff of this physical dimension. But our minds are not there to really support or guide our soul. That is what our heart is for. So if you're in an uncertain time, connect with your heart and listen to those little signals in your heart. And it may take some time. At first it might just be these most subtle whispers of your heart saying, I'm ready for, I'm ready to move, or I'm ready for that, I'm ready to express my love to this person, or these different things. Like you might just feel it as these little slivers of hope or things like that coming from your heart. Connect to that. Listen to that. Listen. It's not about, like in the uncertain times, it's not always about making a change right away, but it's about listening to the direction of where your heart seems to be going at that time. So stay tuned to your heart. Let your heart be your guide during the uncertain times. Listen to the sensations in your heart. Usually if you're thinking about, connecting with someone or going somewhere or doing something or not doing something or whatever it is, like if you tune into how does this feel within my heart, your heart will tell you if it's for you or not. Even like if you're literally lost, like, like we talk about being lost on our soul's journey, but like even if you're actually lost, like in the material, oftentimes if you feel into, okay, which turn is right? Does this one feel right? Or does this one feel right? You'll often find that your heart can actually get you literally to your destination. Like you can feel your way through life a lot more than you probably are. So your heart is a major tool during uncertainty. My third tip when you're in uncertain times in your life is be here now. Be in the present moment. It can be so easy for our mind to drift off to the future, all these worries about the future, or hopes and dreams about the future, or lament on like everything that went wrong in the past. That's not going to help you during your uncertain times. What will help you is just being in the present. Are you safe right now? Do you have what you need right now? If everything's okay right now, then you're okay. And whenever you see your mind starting to drift off to the future or back to the past, just reorient yourself to this present moment. Just like breathe. Okay, the only real thing is this moment. This the only thing that's real, the only thing that matters is this moment. Is my breath in this moment or my presence in this moment. Just be in the moment. Be in the moment and try to enjoy this present moment, when you're in your uncertain time. What can you do right here, right now to feel a little better right here, right now, and maybe that's just listening to music or just really connecting with the food that you're eating and savoring the flavors, and just bring your senses to this moment. And know, if you're connected to your heart and you're connected to your intuition in this moment, and you continue to be connected to your heart and your intuition in each present moment as they unfold, then you're guaranteed to make it to your most ideal destination in the end. It really is a matter of meeting yourself where you are, one step at a time, listening to your heart and honoring your intuition as it unfolds in each present moment. You don't need to know what's going to happen 5 days from now. You just need to be in touch with how you feel about what's happening right now, and to create a now moment that feels in alignment with your heart and your intuition. My fourth tip for navigating uncertain times is wait and see. So a lot of times, especially if we're a little bit more anxious, when we're in a time of uncertainty on our soul's journey, we might want to take premature action. We just want to do something, so that we can have a sense of control or know where our life's going, even if we just want a direction. You know what I mean? When we feel like we don't have any direction, we just want a direction. So sometimes there can be that tendency to force ourselves into premature action. Maybe, for example, we get a job offer. We're not really sure if we want it or not, but we're so uncomfortable with the anxiety that we get ahead of ourselves and we just call and say, no, I don't want this job. Nope, I'm going to turn it down, because we just want certainty. We just want to know what's next. I would encourage you not to do that. It's okay not to know your next step. It's okay to be uncertain about your future. Wait and see, okay? So I live in the U.S., and I feel like Americans in general, we're often in a rush. We're often trying to push ourselves, fast. We need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this. And we're really, really busy. And there's that pressure to make choices. And when you're in an uncertain time, often it's about accepting the uncertainty and waiting and seeing what occurs before making a choice. Usually when it's time to take action, you will know what to do, right? Or when it's time to make a change, usually you'll know, okay, this is the change that I need to make now, or you'll get the energy that you need, and you'll get that inspiration that you need. If you don't have that energy, if you don't have that inspiration, if you don't have that sense of what would be really in alignment with your heart and soul, then it's probably a good sign that this is not the right time to implement plans in the material. Sometimes we really are just meant to stand back and wait for the cards to fall around us before we choose how to act next. And in terms of the collective energy right now, I feel this is a really important sort of wait and see time. Let's wait and see kind of what occurs around us. Let's wait and see how the energies settle. And then we'll determine how we're going to show up and consciously respond to those energies. So get comfortable kind of just waiting and seeing. Try to get comfortable waiting and seeing, and trust that when the moment comes to take action, you'll know what's best to do, and you'll have that energy and inspiration. Okay, and then my fifth tip for navigating uncertain times on your soul's journey is to observe the signs and the sort of intuitive nudges, and observe, the spiritual wisdom around you. But don't obsess over trying to find answers through spiritual means, okay? And so I see a lot of people fall into this, where they're in a time of uncertainty and it's really uncomfortable. Maybe it's uncertainty in their work life, or in a relationship, or in their health, or these different things. And so what they do is they look for signs everywhere, and they start to try to obsess with uncovering this spiritual, the answers through spiritual means. So maybe they get obsessed with looking for any sign, every feather every angel number, maybe they listen to every single astrological forecast and every single weekly tarot reading, and they get, readings from 3 different psychics or mediums, and they start to give their power away to the signs and stuff like that, hoping it's going to show them their way. And then what usually happens if people get really wrapped up in all the spiritual signs and stuff like that is they totally lose touch with their own heart and their own knowing, and they end up giving their power away and feeling even more confused than when they started out. So my guidance is observe the signs, but be really grounded. You know what I mean? So yes, if you are in a really uncertain time and you start seeing a specific angel number sequence or something like that, you see 777. Okay. Note that, 777 seems to be there, or, you know what I mean? Or, note that, I heard in, 3 different people this week say, I'm feeling like it's time to break free or something like that. So maybe that's a message for me or something like that, but I'm just going to kind of observe. I'm going to be a little bit logical in this regard. I'm going to observe the signs that are coming through. I'm going to be mindful of any messages that come to me through intuitive channels, but I'm not going to totally give my power away to especially to outside sources of intuition. You want to keep your energy, your focus inward, within your own intuition, within your own heart. And because sometimes we can have such fear around our own inner knowing that we just give our power away to any, literally any astrologer, any tarot reading, any angel number we see. And I think the most important thing is to keep in mind, you are much more powerful than any of those outer signs, and your inner knowing for your path is always going to be stronger than even the best psychics' inner knowing about your path. So it's just stay connected to who you are. Be here in the moment. If you're okay right now, then you're okay. And give yourself permission to admit that you don't know what's next, but to wait it out and see what occurs next. And yeah, definitely have fun with the signs if you feel like you're getting signs from spirit. But if you're not really sure what the signs mean yet, don't force a meaning on them just to calm your anxiety. Just sit back and enjoy the ride, right? And know that your intuition will guide you correctly, and you will be led to your soul's perfect destination. And thank God that you will. Thank God we all have guides guiding us to our perfect destination. We all have, angelic support teams that are also ensuring our safety throughout our journey. So we're all protected, and all of our lives ultimately do unfold perfectly. So a lot of times what feels like uncertainty is just a transition on our soul's journey to something newer, to something better. But when you're in this space that's between here and there, be compassionate with yourself, but just try your best to stay centered, to stay grounded, to stay connected with your inner self, and really as much as possible just to enjoy this time in the present moment, because before you know it, you're going to be on the other side of this, and you're no longer going to be in the time of uncertainty, and you'll probably look back on your uncertain time, and you'll realize how beautiful it really was to be able to have that time of learning to trust and have faith, and you'll see that everything indeed unfolded exactly as it needed to. So anyway, you guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little video today. It's been so fun to be able to connect with you, and I send my love to you. I send my support to you. We're all in this together. We're all here for this transformative process that we're going through here on the earth plane, and I hope that you guys are excited for what lies ahead and all the wonderful changes that are coming in, even if you don't know exactly what those are going to look like for the world or for yourself personally. We know that we all came here for a reason, to be a part of these changes at this time and to hold the energy of light here on the planet as these changes take place. So just, yes, connect with your heart. cultivate a feeling of trust and love and connection to your heart in this moment, and wonderful, wonderful things will happen. Your heart will always guide you correctly to your most ideal destination as a soul. So don't fear the uncertainty, you guys. Okay, so anyway, have an amazing, amazing day today. Thank you for listening, and namaste.